Click, click, boom, dynamite. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Nick with the Nothing But Niners crew. Man, we're here to talk about live reactions, our feelings. Are we in our feelings? How are we going about that? Things about yesterday's game. But first, let me tell you where we can be found. NothingButNiners.com. You can find all of our social media there. We got Twitter, Nothing But 9 ERS, as well as Snapchat, Nothing But 9 ERS. You can find us on YouTube right here, Nothing But Niners. Also, you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitch, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, wherever you want to be. Just type in hashtag MB Niners. It'll pop up. And NothingButNiners.com as well. Again, just check that out. But first, let me introduce my man, my guest, my partner in crime. Mike, what's going on, baby?
What's going on, Nick, man? Hey, people, man, another thing, too. Make sure y'all check out that damn Instagram and Facebook page, man. Those things be going crazy, man. But, yeah, man, I'm over here at the cigar parlor. You guys can see me. I'm outside my spot, all right? It was nice and quiet inside. We said we were going to broadcast. I'm like, you know what? Cool. I can sit in here and hate on the Raiders and the Lions game and everything. I could do the broadcast. And then one guy came in and it got loud as hell. So I was like, forget it. I'm going to do the whole broadcast from outside. So I'm over here chilling. I'm ready to talk about this game, man. This game, it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of really, really bad, a lot of ugly in there. So I'm just ready to get to it, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. There was definitely some good, definitely some bad, and definitely some really, really bad. Before we get started, I just want to say what's up to the people in the chat. Kicks, Go Hard, Jamie's Videos, Maya0724, Juan Robertson. Go Hard's always in here. Jesus is My King is already in here. Man, David Royce, what a crazy game last night. Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So, fans, faithfuls, everybody, what's going on? Anyway, Mike, man, I didn't get to watch the game live. I had to work last night, so it was killing me. So I had to come home and watch it from my own eyes after watching it last night and then not going to sleep and going to work this morning. I'm pretty riled up, but I got to see some of the good things, the bad things, and things to talk about. But first, man, you want to go? Let's go with the good first. I just want to go with the good first. And two guys showed up that we had, both of them on our show, and Julian Taylor and Richie James. These boys definitely balled out last night. Richie James with the game-winning touchdown, creating separation, causing a lot of havoc out there. He wasn't, 80 yards receiving or anything, but he caught the ball when he needed it the most. And Julian Taylor was just beasting at the line of scrimmage. On the defensive side of the ball. He helped with that one sack towards the end of the game there to allow us to get the ball back. But those are two of my star standout players. And obviously they're everybody's, but I'm sure you have somebody else. What were your thoughts on two good players from last night?
Yeah, so, I mean, if I want to try to pick one from each side of the ball, believe it or not, I really, really like what I saw. Only 3 carries, but I like McNichols, man. McNichols came out there. He looked hungry. I've been saying that the Niners need that ground pound guy. They need someone to take it up the gut, go hard. And McNichols came in there, and damn, McNichols looked really good. Now, I didn't see him have to do any blitz pickup or anything like that, but he looked good on the carries there. And on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, there was a couple of guys who looked good. Sheldon Day, you took Julian Taylor. I'm going to say Sheldon Day. I highlighted him in the article that I just put up today for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sheldon Day was one of the guys, man. We heard a lot of good talk about him during camp. The one-on-ones, they were saying, oh, he's manhandling people out there. And we saw him have a couple of flashes throughout the season last year. But this is our first time getting him in camp, letting him learn the whole thing from the beginning. And Big boy was looking good out there, man. I like what I saw. I like what I saw from Sheldon Day. And McNichols, like I said, man, I want to see more of both of those guys now.
Yeah, talking about McNichols, man, I had said that in our group chat last night, and somebody, I forget who it was saying, nah, man, like they like what they seen. But I really liked McNichols over Joe Williams, and my reasoning of that is Joe Williams carried the ball, yeah, but he still looks hesitant to me. He's not bursting through the holes. He's not. And when he does go through the holes, you can see that he's definitely worried about fumbling the football. He's like holding it up until he's past the line of scrimmage. Like, you know what I mean? So I just feel like he doesn't have that natural flow yet. But Jeremy McNichols, man, has really impressed me. And a lot of people forgot about this guy on the roster. But I thought him and Mostert played better than McKinnon and Williams. And obviously Breida with an injury. So, But
Well,
yeah,
let me
I mean,
really quick on Williams. I actually like what I saw from Williams also. So Kyle Shanahan made a comment, and he's got me. Turn your headlights on, boss. Headlights. Oh, okay. Thanks, man. Sorry, my boy was leaving from the cigar parlor. He's driving without his headlights on. He said that he didn't want him to shine in my face. Hey, look at that. People know we doing the show and shit. I'm sorry. That's love right there. But yeah. So Shanahan came out and he was talking about how the reports are coming out from training camp from the beat writers and that people were saying, "Oh, this guy looked good," but only because they busted off a big one. He was like, "Well, those are the easy runs. When the hole is there, you're supposed to hit it. And you're supposed to get 10, 15 yards at a time plus." He was like, "But when we open up a hole and it's only blocked for 3 yards, we want to see that you're getting those 3 yards." That's what I saw from Williams consistently. I didn't put that in the article because I didn't know if that was considered good, if it was considered bad. Definitely wasn't ugly. But Williams was taking advantage of every snap that he got. Man, he got the ball in his hands, and when the hole opened up, he hit it. And there's nothing wrong with him. Listen, if my coach put me on IR because I fumbled the ball too much, I'm gonna hug that shit too, like it's a newborn baby. I'm not letting anybody get that. So I don't blame him for that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've seen plenty of running backs in the NFL who come through the middle, hugging the ball, and then once they get open space, it's in the one hand and they're taking off. And Joe Williams has that speed. Trust me. Once that ball breaks free from one of those arms, he's out, man. He's got that speed to do it. I like what I saw from Joe Williams.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I didn't like this, like the progression that I've seen and how far that Joe Williams has come. But I just really liked McNichols last night, man. I just something about McNichols in open space, being able to get the football with catch radius, the ability to run, and he plays special teams as well. And Joe Williams is playing special teams finally now. Obviously, they know that he's fighting for a roster spot this year, so he has to play. Let me ask you this question, Mike, while we're talking about the good. I know it's preseason game 1. And I know it's not anything to get hyped about. And, obviously we're all just excited for football to be back. But, I mean, I don't take wins and losses in preseason to the heart pretty much. I mean, we could have lost that game last night. But I evaluate players. I evaluate to see what we have on the depth chart. You kind of try to look at those signals of who you think is going to start and who you think is going to be the backup guy. And that's how I just watch preseason. But let me ask you the question. Our first string offense last night, were you really worried about them in that series? Or do you think it's just something that they're still gelling and it's the first game, it's preseason, and the offensive line looked bad? And we'll get into that when we talk about the bad. But overall, do you think that's something that we should be concerned about for the season to come? Or do you think that's like maybe a week-to-week type of thing to where they get better?
I will happily answer that for you, but want to keep in mind, I'm interested in getting some fan opinions, some other 49er fans on. Just give them their 2 minutes of floor time to reflect on the game really quick and whatever they have to say. So if people are watching this right now, you guys want in, let Nick know. I can't see the comments because I'm doing this from my phone, but Nick has got his eyes over there on the chat and everything, so he'll keep an eye out for you and he'll hook you guys up. I want to get these people in here 2 minutes at a time and let them go ahead and say what they have to say. I was worried about it, but I also know that they have to gel. Listen, I said for a very long time this offseason, everyone's like, oh, this offensive line is upgraded. It's upgraded. Look, man, there's going to be 4 new people, 4 different positions. Joe Staley is the only one that we know for sure is coming back in that same position. And it doesn't mean that this offensive line is going to be upgraded just because we got new faces in here. All right. That team, the offensive line last night, the starters looked worse than what we did the last 5 games of the year with Jimmy Garoppolo in there. That's just a fact. The running lanes were worse. The running backs were getting hit in the backfield every single time. It's not something that was a coincidence. But I was really looking for some positives to take from the game. And the positive is that we look bad. I know that sounds crazy, but you guys got to let me explain this. We look so bad that it's going to humble a lot of the starters. They're going to go in there and be like, damn, I really got to step it up. That wasn't one of the top defensive lines in the NFL. That was the Cowboys. You know what I mean? They're going to go back out there and they're going to really look themselves in the mirror and figure out what I can do to get better. And we needed that. So that is the positive that I'm taking away from it. You can tell that there was a lot of jitters, there was a lot of nerves, and I honestly I don't know why. I don't know. Jimmy Garoppolo came out there and he was overthrown. I mean, his first 3 targets were to Goodwin, and all of them were high as hell. He was throwing a good one as if he was 7'2". You know what I mean? Like that's not the case for Goodwin. You can't throw to the ball. You can't throw in the ball that, like he's that big. You know what I mean? But you know they'll work it out. And I'm not. That's nothing. Absolutely nothing that I think is going to carry over into the regular season. You know what I mean? So I like what I saw there. Some more positives from the starters on the offensive side of the ball was the resiliency. You know, it's easy to get beat in the face and get beat across the face like that and let things up, but these guys never stop fighting. There was a time or two for the first drive where I saw someone, I saw someone getting turned around, one of the offensive linemen, all the way turned around. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like this looks crazy right now. But they settled down. You didn't see that as much, but they still struggle to open up the holes and everything like that. They're going to get better, man. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to get better. I see my man Eric is in here, man. Give us some positives, man. Give us some positives about what you saw from the starters on offense last night, because that's kind of hard. I'm not going to lie to you. That's kind of hard. Did we even score with the starters in there? I don't think the starters got in field goal range. I saw a couple.
We had the drive and then we had the. Can you guys hear me? All right. Yeah. No, we had the drive and then we had the long or the big 6-yard loss run, and that kind of put us behind. And then we tried the deep shot to Kittle, which wasn't a bad throw, but just that far downfield trying to squeeze it over Jalen Smith. That's pretty tough. And then on third down, he just ended up taking the check down. Aside from that, positives. I think it's just like little things. And the things that I saw is like things that I feel like are fixable. So like, and I saw somebody else point it out, but on the play with when Dak Prescott scrambled for a first down, if it looked like DeForest Buckner was, rushing straight up field so that number 97, I can't think of his name right now, but y'all know what I'm talking about, the defensive end. Dakota Watson. Yeah. Dakota Watson. He looked like he was setting it up for Dakota Watson to come underneath, and he was either going to push the pocket or maybe even get a sack, but it wouldn't have been that big gaping hole. And now you're off the field. And it would have worked because Dak Prescott brought his eyes down like immediately. So, just little things like that where you want to work on to get off the field. And I think preseason is the time to fix those issues. So
yeah, I know.
That's kind of one positive. I think there were definitely times where, we could have gotten off the field and didn't. And then offensively, I think, we just taking positives. I think that the pass protection was pretty good with the starters, except for the one play where, Tank got the best of McGlinchey, which, all right, like that's a 14-sack guy. But for the most part, he held his own. Like I rewatched it. Like I thought McGlinchey did very well. The pass protection, which we thought would be the drop-off, I thought that was the better part of our offensive line. So, yeah, when you just talk about positives, now there are definitely negatives, but, just kind of looking for positives, those are things I saw.
Even with the running game being as bad as it was, you could tell that the running backs were focused on the assignment. So this is something that we debated, and I was saying how bad they looked. But you could tell, like, they know, like, this is where I'm supposed to go. They were going for the assignment. They weren't altering plays and just, getting happy feet in the backfield and trying to make something out of nothing. They were focused on what the play call was, and I'm going to try to execute that play call. So, I mean, that's also a good thing, because in preseason, you don't want to give away your tails when a hole closes up. What are you likely to do and things like that? So I think even though they look bad, that's a positive to take away from it also.
You could kind of tell, and why you're talking about that, Mike, is saying they were sticking to assignment. I mean, preseason is vanilla, pretty vanilla. You know what I mean? It's not a whole lot of game planning. I mean, Croc, answer me. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on that, with like a lot of game planning and stuff like that for against other opponents in the preseason. But it's not schemed out. Like it's not, you're not going to run the same type of plays that you run in the regular season to get your guys open and get, certain packages and stuff like that in the preseason. You're just kind of trying to get a feel of players and what they do in certain situations. Your third downs, your end zone, red zone type things like that. So I know exactly what play you're talking about when Buckner slid to the right, thinking that Dakota Watson was supposed to fill that gap, which he didn't. So it could have been something that they were working on. It was a misassignment. We don't know that. But it did look like there was a lot of missed assignments last night on the offensive line with the first series. They looked a little bit nervous, looked a little bit confused. I know like the first or second play, I think you commented or said something in the room about how you would be on their ass. But the two players like Pearson and somebody else were just standing there, like watching them.
He was talking about Staley and Selleck. That play he was talking about the left side of the line.
Yeah,
He said
left side.
that was Staley and Selleck on that side.
Yeah, Selleck I don't know what he did, and Staley got like blown back, and then like somebody else whiffed. I'm just like, that's not. You don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought, just from just watching the game, I thought the Cowboys played with more. Like they played faster, just with like a little bit more kind of a flow to it, a little bit more rhythm. That's what it looked like, you know what I'm saying, to me. But, that's just kind of my opinion. And we'll see how that improves, week 2 of the preseason.
Right. Yeah, no, and I totally agree with you. Once we get into the bad, we're still talking about the positive, but I have some things that I want to bring up in the bad as well. But we got a special guest today, Kix. Kix is one of our fans that watches our show all the time.
What's up?
What's up, Ryan? Ryan, we're talking about some positives. You heard Mike and you heard Croc talk about some things. You heard myself talk about some of the positives. What was one of the positives that you took from last night's game?
Okay, I think two of the biggest things for me. First is some of the play calls that I saw Shanahan dial up reminds me why I'm so excited for this guy, because he is a genius at getting people into space. The touchdown the 2-point conversion to the tight end on the play action. Like the amount of tight ends that rolled out, it was like 3 different crossing routes. It was super confusing for the defense. That's why he was so wide open. And the second thing is that even though it was just a preseason game, how excited everybody was for that win. From the vets to the new guys to the coaches, like it was like we won a playoff game. So the fact that something so small means something like so big to them makes me feel like a regular season win will be even that much higher and a playoff game that much higher. So that kind of keeps me hopeful for future games if they're this excited for a preseason win. But at the same time, it's not something to get that excited over because it's just preseason. And obviously they beat scrubs in garbage time at the end of the game or whatever. But it was still fun to watch. It was exciting to watch the Cowboys lose. So
yeah, and a win is a win. Like Kyle Shanahan said, you don't want to go into overtime in a preseason game, but you don't want to lose either. So
exactly.
That kind of lets us touch base on the excitement that Joe Staley getting so pumped up.
Mike's waving his finger at you.
Yeah, I'll get to him in a second. Joe Staley getting so pumped up on the sideline, like how, and that's what you're probably talking about. That clip that I saw.
Well, not only that, just in the locker room too. There was a couple things talking about the locker room afterwards, but yeah, pretty much that.
Nice, Mike. What's up?
All right, so you know how Shanahan said, you don't want to lose a preseason game and you don't want to go in overtime, whatever. Do you think Shanahan's going to be that aggressive during the regular season? Like if it was a regular season,
no.
Wait now, because he went for 2 to make them have to get at least a field goal, right? So if we only went for 1, we would have been up by 2, get them in field goal range, they could win. Do you think in the regular season, even though it's a lead and there's not a lot of time left on the clock, do you think Shanahan would make a call like that in the regular season?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes, because...
What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I think he will. I think we're going to see a different side of Kyle Shanahan this year compared to what we did last year because it was his first year coaching. But I think he's going to start getting to that aggressiveness, that aggressive coach that we've been looking for.
And not only just him, but all the players too.
So one of the things that Atlanta fans killed Kyle Shanahan for, especially in that Super Bowl, was his aggressive play calling when they already had a lead. They wanted him to run the ball more, but he was thinking, look, this is the play calling that got me here. This is the play calling I've been doing my entire career. I'm not going to change it up just because it's the Super Bowl. I'm going to put the knife in the neck. You know what? I'm sorry for the violent reference, but I'm saying that's what I want to see from Shanahan this season. That's what I want to see. When he did that, I was like, yo, coach is on his shit this year. He's going to be more aggressive this year. But I'm glad I'm not the only one that noticed that and took a liking to it. That's good.
Well, and the perfect example of it is you look at the Super Bowl. how Doug Peterson win. He was out there throwing big wiener plays around. I don't know if y'all cuss on here or whatever the situation is, but you know what I'm saying? He was not scared of Belichick. He was calling big plays and going, the Philly special. The way Doug Peterson looked at his quarterback in the eyes in that moment is still like one of the greatest football moments I've ever seen. He like checked Nick Foles' soul to make sure like you're really for this though. As long as Shanahan's calling plays like that, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that was a
big man.
That was a great clip for Big Dick Nick when he was like,
yeah,
he's like, hey, you sure? Are you sure you're ready for this? And he's like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
That was the best.
Yeah, but and that's how you win games. You got to try to be, Mike, like where you hate us playing prevention. You know what I mean? You
Who
hate
doesn't?
prevention. So like a prevent
that bend,
defense.
but don't break shit is horrible.
Yeah. So
it's the worst.
We've had arguments all last year about it, but I think I'm starting to side with Mike. Like, be aggressive, just go after it, just take the win, and do what you got to do to win it.
You can't leave anything on the field, man. You can't.
Right? Yeah. Don't allow them to beat you in a certain way. Go after it and lose it by yourself. So,
100%.
Mike, I'm with you on that now. So, all right. So let's talk about some of the bad, and I want to get Croc's feeling on this first. Croc, if you had to pick one thing from the entire game last night, whether it be the first stringers to the fourth stringers, what was the worst thing that you've seen that you think we need to work on the most?
I would say the run game. Just run blocking. You kind of want to see, I was just watching the Raiders game, and, execute your blocks so a guy can pick up 4 or 5 yards, even if it's, 3 yards, but not minus 6 yards or not, a guy trying to bounce outside and get tackled at the line of scrimmage. I would like to see our starters just, open up a few creases. Not even saying it has to be like a huge gashing game, but just something to where, like, can we just run the ball a little bit? And I think yesterday it was just like we couldn't run the ball at all. So, hopefully that's something that improves. Maybe it's because these guys haven't really played together. There's been a lot of different rotations, whether it was Garnett, Persons, Cooper. There's no, cohesiveness with the offensive line. So hopefully that is the issue. But, aside from that, you just, that was just a glaring thing to me. It throws everything off because now there's no flow to anything. And now, Garoppolo had to, just make some, really great throws because of, third and long situations. Just because you can't, you put Jimmy Garoppolo in the 3rd and 5 situation, he's picking that up easy. 3rd and 10, I have confidence, but just because he's done it, he's been in that position so much. But you don't want to have to. You don't want to have him have to do that time and time again. That's not really winning football. So getting the run game going, I think that's what would probably be. That's my number one thing that kind of upset me, or not upset me, but I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, like you really couldn't get and that's what I said last night. I really couldn't get a feel of the running backs that we have and how they're going to work in the system because of the fact that, poor McKinnon was getting hit, 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage before he even got the ball. And I don't know if that's just because, like I said earlier, our offensive line was either A, confused, or B, they're just not gelling, or C, they just could not be that good. That right side, obviously, we have, players in there, but I really thought Laken Tomlinson played pretty well last night for the most part compared to what he used to play or how he played before. I thought that he's made some strides and steps to getting better.
And comparative to how bad everything was in general on the O-line.
Right.
Yeah.
He's definitely stepped up his game. It's not a Jordan Devy or Pears or anybody like that. So in those terms, yeah. So Mike, if you could pick something other than the run game, since I know you are big on the run game, just like I am, but if you could pick something else that was bad, what would you say that it was?
Am I allowed to say injuries or no? Like that's not related to play, but injuries were crazy. It seemed like we dodged a lot of bullets. I don't know if anyone's going to be out long term. Everyone is still expected to be back, as far as I know right now, for at least week 1, or the latest, I should say, was week 1. But injuries were very, very concerning to me. And part of the injuries is I wanted to see a Tauchu. Like where was he? What happened? You know what I mean? Like I want to see the pass rush.
He played.
So he was out there?
Yeah.
Barely.
I didn't understand why when somebody said yesterday he wanted to see Itachi on our group chat. I'm like, he was out there playing.
I couldn't tell. That's a
I
problem.
only saw him a couple times, and I only saw Toomer a couple times too.
Yeah, Itachi and Toomer were definitely out there. Croc, you seen Itachi out there, right?
Well, Toomer was out there.
I didn't see Itachi. I saw Toomer a lot. I thought he made some good plays, but I didn't see Itachi at all.
Who was I put this in the chat before you guys invited me in. Who's 55? He's got a crazy last name.
Peter Temapeñu.
Dude, that guy was flying around last night. I mean, given it was third string offense at that time, but he was in the backfield nearly every play on that, like I want to say the second to last drive they had. He was in the backfield every single time.
Taumuipinu.
He's a beast.
Yeah, so all right, so Mike said injuries. Croc said running backs. Ryan, what do you think? One bad thing that you could pick?
I was going to go with the linebackers overall, to be honest. I think some bad angles, some missed tackles, some blown assignments. And that was from the first string guys all the way to the third string guys. I saw issues everywhere. It could be like the O-line. Maybe they're just not gelling yet. It's one of those things where a linebacking core does have to be tight-knit. You look at some of the duos in the league, Kuechly and Davis been together forever. You know what I mean? You look at some of the best, Bowman and Willis when we had them. Those guys were together for a long time before things started to fly like this. So maybe that's what it is. It's still just everyone's still working around each other, getting used to each other. But I would say the linebackers were disappointing overall to me. Yeah,
the linebacker that stood out the most to me that was horrible was Malcolm Smith while he was in there. A lot of missed arm tackles in the backfield. I saw, I think, 2 or 3 plays where he just whiffed, especially on that one long run. He was there to make the stop, just kind of hit him with his right arm, just kind of whiffed on him pretty much. But I agree with all 3 of your aspects and points. But I have to say our backup number 2 quarterback, CJ Beathard, looks like he has not progressed in any shape, way, or form. Looks worse than he did in 2017.
And it hurts me because I was big on him.
Yeah, Mike, we talked about this before on our show before, and I said I was interested in watching to see what we have behind Jimmy Garoppolo. There's nothing there right now.
Nah, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. Bro.
Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. He had 3 tip balls, right? 3 tip balls. I'm saying that I saw good had time throwing at people's feet, throwing the ball. What do you have? An interception.
Underthrew
Pettis when he had a bazillion seconds to throw the football.
That one was huge.
And it just, I mean, that was a long bomb. I mean, it was like 50 yards at least in the air.
Touchdown, Jimmy throws it, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, just overall watching him play, you can say, oh, well, the offensive line. Oh, well, the offensive line. Well, Nick Mullins came in and threw fire with some different, with the same line, actually. He took over with the same line first. So go ahead, Mike. Let me hear your point.
Oh, there we go. My bad. What I'm saying is this. I'm not saying that Beathard looked good, but I think most of Beathard's negatives were due to the offensive line. Okay? Beathard, listen to me. Now, that underthrow to Pettis, which should have been a touchdown, I mean, that's on him, but he was also throwing from the opposite side.
And let's run that back to last year, too, when you underthrew Keese. When Keese burned Peterson and Matthew, and that bomb could have been a touchdown. He underthrew him in that, too. So it's not the first time we've seen that from him, but I know what you're saying.
Right. No, I'm not saying that he's dramatically better or anything like that, but it's super hard to evaluate a guy when there's no time for him. And you can say that, oh, he played with the same line, but the line protected better for Nick Mullins.
Nope. We lost them somehow. Both of them. They both disappeared. They dropped out like they're on a water slide. Croc, let me get your opinion on CJ Beathard, and then once Mike comes back in, we can finish letting him talk.
Yeah, I didn't see like it wasn't too bad. You would like to see. I mean, it's like 4 tip passes. That's not good at all. And for whatever the reasons are for that, he skipped 1 pass to Aldrick Robinson. Aldrick Robinson was falling, but even before he was falling down, it was still a terrible pass as well. where it looked like he didn't step into the pass at all. It looked like he didn't even get into a drop. Like he didn't even do like a 3-step drop. So yeah, I wasn't too down on his performance, but I wasn't like high on it either. It kind of just looked like Beathard, like just kind of what we saw last year, where he can do some things, but you don't want to have to depend on him to play more than a few games.
Right, and that's what my point was. I was trying to make a point when we were talking, when me and Mike talked before the game, and I said I wanted to see C.J. Beathard play, just because in case Jimmy Garoppolo goes down, you got to know what your backup quarterback's going to do. And I wasn't big on C.J. Beathard last year, but I thought that he would progress more in the system, learning the playbook and having a full training camp and going through. I thought he would progress more as a quarterback, but I just didn't see that last night.
I think he progressed. I don't know. I did see a lot of the dirt throws. I saw everything that you're talking about. What I'm saying is though, like when he first got in there, I don't know how many passes it was, but they were like in his lap the entire time. The opposing defense was in his lap the entire time. It's hard to go out there and get into a rhythm and adjust afterwards. I don't know if I just got booted or what in the middle of talking. That was wild. I don't know what just happened.
You and Ryan both dropped out like you were standing on the water slide where the floor drops. Y'all just both at the same time.
Yeah, that was wild. So I came back as us. But no, I mean, look, Beathard, it's not that he looked better, but I just think it's not you. Just like you can't fully assess the running backs. I was hard on McNichols for the same reasons you can't say that McNichols is not a good runner. You can't say that hadn't progressed yet.
You mean McKinnon, right?
Oh yeah, McKinnon. My apologies. Yeah, McKinnon.
Yeah, the other bad man is this is my bad, but I don't know what it is, man. Like, I know Croc's gonna kill me for saying this, but Jimmy Ward, man, like, I just don't understand it. Like, this guy has so much talent, but he's always getting burnt. Like, he's just always getting beat up on the field. That one play, everybody wants to blame it on the sun. But he, like, literally stopped in the route. He stopped to turn around and look, and then the receiver was way past him already. Like, that's not what I'm used to seeing from Jimmy Ward type. You know what I mean? Like, is that something to be worried about, Croc?
Wait. Before Croc answers, let me just say what I saw on that play. And it's not even about the sun. I think he did the right thing when he was running and he turned back, he put his hand out to feel the receiver. I don't think he felt the receiver run off though, because I think that when a DB does that, and I'm not a DB, I don't know this, so Eric can speak on this afterwards. But when you go to look back and you put your hand on the receiver, you're doing that to feel if they take off on you, and then you know to speed up more. It seems like that. I don't know if he didn't get his hand on him good enough to know that that's what he was doing or what, but he was with that guy all the way up until that point when he turned his head back, and then he hesitated. He like did a stutter step, and then that's when the guy got the distance on him for the extra 2 or 3 yards. They put the space between them. But that entire play up until that point, he was hip to hip with that guy, man. His coverage was good, but it was just right then when he put his hand back and he looked back, that's where he lost him. All right, Eric, you can tell me if I'm crazy or not, if it was just flat out bad.
No, you're right. I don't know. I was saying it yesterday. It's just like, I think it's just so upsetting because it was Ward. Ward isn't someone that like just gets beat. I always talk about how he's not a bad football player. He's not a bad football player. Him getting beat for that type of touchdown, that's not something that, we've kind of seen before, but he hasn't really been on the outside like that primarily. As far as that play goes, I have no idea what happened. He just stopped, so it's like, I would like to know why. I don't think it was the sun. You have to keep going regardless of whether the sun or whatever the case is. Just sometimes people have mental lapse.
Mental lapse, yeah.
And that's what it looked like there. It didn't, like Mike said, man, he did have, I saw him at the line of scrimmage. He moved his feet, shot his hand, squeezed him down the line of scrimmage, and then he just turned his head and just stopped. I said, I don't know. I don't understand what happened. The only thing I can think of is maybe he thought the play was over or the ball was thrown somewhere else. That's the only thing I can kind of think of to justify why he did that.
if it's crazy, you hear them say all the time that football is a game of inches, right? If he didn't do that, that same exact play, that same throw, I think he could have intercepted the ball. I think he would have been in position to pick that ball if he didn't do that. That's how good his coverage was right there. There was no way that receiver was going to get that if he just kept his stride with the receiver. So, like, to me, bad coverage is off the line, you get beat, you know what I mean? Or you bite on a double move or something like that. He was with that guy the whole time. He lost him when they were just running in stride. That's where he lost him. If he had just kept going, there's no way that would have been a touchdown pass.
I think it was so upsetting because it was like, it's our first time seeing the Niners. It's the first drive, and that happens. Like, if it was like the second or third possession where we stopped them, and then something like that happened, you just be like, well, he just stopped, and But out the gate is like they drive down. We already had the mental lapse, and that's what you don't want too many mental mistakes. But we had the mental mistake with Dakota Watson going outside when what looked like his supposed to loop back inside. You had the run where he down the right sideline where it looked like we had it all sealed off, and all of a sudden he got through for a 15-yard gain. You don't want to see that. Just little things where it was just like we just couldn't get off the field. We were in our own way. Now, if I'm coaching that, if I'm coaching them, because I've been in these situations like, coaching defensive backs where we play somebody and it's like, look, we gave that game away. All right, if we get better at this and this and this, or we stop this, we're good. You guys just have to do your job. And as long as you do your job, we're going to be fine. And then we come back and have to play those same teams and kick their butt because we fixed those things. So that's what it's going to come down to. If they stick with Ward in that first group, which, like you said, it wasn't bad coverage. And for that entire drive, there wasn't bad coverage in that entire drive. We gave up a little rinky-dink play action rollout for 3 yards. It was actually good coverage by Eli Harold, our favorite player. He did a good job. Play action, he expanded, came down on the tight end, 3-yard gain. All right. And then we gave up the big run. So that was okay. After that, they didn't really get much through the air. They had like a little check down, and then they had that big play. But the coverage was good. The coverage was good throughout that drive. And I thought even really for the most of the game, I thought the 49ers had good coverage, aside for a few plays here and there, a few things. We saw Powell get kind of upset with me, but for the most part, the coverage was fine. It's just, the linebackers kind of flowing a little bit better, stopping some of the runs and things like that. And then the pass rush just being a little bit nastier. I didn't see like a mean relentlessness that I would like to see. And then we see Harold Landry get a sack against the Packers, and it's like, dang, we could have had him. But, the pass rush definitely has to be more relentless and help the secondary out. But the secondary wasn't bad.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Shoe559 said Ward got galloped. That's perfect. That's perfect. Somebody else said he probably thought he pulled his hammy. That's why he slowed up. So everybody's got jokes in there, but I mean, I think I'm to the point where with Ward is that, he's got almost 4 years under his career. He's played like 13 games, injury prone. He's always has an injury, but most of his injuries are big. So I guess I kind of hold that to a standard, but it just threw me off when I watched that touchdown. I think it was a third down too, right? It was on a third and like 8 or something. But where he just stopped. I mean, that's what like totally made me lose it. Like, dude, you really just stopped in the middle of the route. Like, okay, go ahead. That's kind of what pissed me off. But coverage was tight, and then I was watching it, and then all of a sudden he just turns his head, and instead of like keeping his body moving, looking, he just stopped. And that's what kind of threw me off, and that's what made it a bad thing for me to watch out and look for. But we won't stay on Jimmy Ward too much longer. But was there anything else that stood out to you that was bad? Like what else? We got offensive line, we got Jimmy Ward, run blocking, run game.
I was actually going to touch on the fact that he was saying that the DBs were pretty good for the most part through the game. I agree with that. I actually was more concerned about our rush defense than our pass defense because Zeke wasn't even out there, and that Rob Smith cat was running all over us, and he's just a backup guy. He's got burst. Obviously, he's a young back, so he's got speed. But Zeke wasn't even out there, and it scares me playing tough. They have to play Gurley twice.
That's Jalen Smith's brother.
That's Jalen Smith's brother?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's trippy. But we have to play Gurley twice, David Johnson twice, and then the new rookie kid in Seattle. So that kind of stuff scares me.
Croc, to answer your question, Coyle didn't play.
I think the run defense, I think that the defensive line, I think they did a good job. But you can't try to make the tackle every time if you're a defensive lineman. You're supposed to allow your linebackers to flow in. And we talked about how bad the linebackers are playing. If the linebackers were assignment tight like they were supposed to, the run game would have looked the run defense, I should say, would have looked completely different than what it did last night.
I agree.
And so, like I said, we got Malcolm Smith out there playing for the first time in God knows how long. You know what I mean? Like, you got Malcolm Smith on the one side, and that's the side that they kept running to. They weren't really trying to test Ruben in the run game. You know what I mean? They knew what they were doing. They said, "Look, this is the new guy. We're going to run the ball to the right side, you know what I mean, of the offense." So that's what they were doing. To me, the defensive line did a really good job. All four teams of the defensive line, they did a good job as far as the running game. So I think once the linebackers get it in the rhythm and things like that, we'll get the kinks out, man. Like, all the bads that are here, it's good because it's all correctable. It's not like we got outplayed or outmuscled, or you know what I mean. It was
100%.
Just right. It was all mental lapses is what was happening, and that's something that you can coach up, you can fix. Everything that we did wrong,
that's the whole point.
Exactly. Everything we did wrong is 100% correctable, and that is a huge positive.
And I think a lot of it is just the gelling, man. From the O-line to the linebackers, even our DBs, as great as they played, there's still some more gelling that could be had. Also, I don't remember if I saw you tweet it, Mike, but you said it at some point. I remember, but it had me dying. You were saying Adrian's angles scare the hell out of you, but you're happy that he makes a tackle. Same with me, man. The one breakdown he had where he's the last line of defense, and the angle was just scary. I mean, he made the tackle, of course, but whew. Deshaun Goldson, he's back for us.
I went, all right, I gasped every single time Adrian Colbert's coming in, because I'm like, yo, there's no way he's going to get there in time. And then he does. He's so damn fast, man. He surprised the shit out of me every single time, man. It's like, if he was a little bit slower, it wouldn't work. But he knows his speed, and he closes just the perfect angles for his speed, man. He knows what he's doing.
And one of the things I noticed too, before he got hurt, Kittle put on some mass, huh? He looked a lot bigger to you? Anyone else notice that? His arms looked bigger. He just looked broader in general. Maybe put on like 10 pounds or so. Just looked bigger to me. Which is great because he's a speed guy. You get some power behind him. He just started running people over more than he does.
Yeah, if we were to lose him, that would have been a big blow if we lost him for the season, because he's one of the players I call for to have a breakout year this year. I think he'll fit.
I'm with you on that. He's on my fantasy tight end sleeper list. I'm just being quiet about him. I'm not telling nobody. I'm just going to let him sneak on my team.
Yeah.
Not quiet no more. Just told thousands of people, bro.
Hey, they ain't in my league. I'll be all right.
Croc, one question, yes or no? And we'll actually go through all of these. Should we be worried about McKinnon? Yes or no? Nah. Mike?
Are we talking about McKinnon the pass catcher or McKinnon the running back?
Running back.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Ryan?
I don't think so.
All right. So, Eric, why do you think that we should not be worried about him?
There was just nowhere to run. Now, if we see, a similar type performance from him this week, and especially next week, because really that's the third game I put the most stock into, which I probably shouldn't, because our starters kicked the Vikings' ass last year, and that didn't, we still started off 0-9. But I put the most stock into that because, that's when you see the offense actually be able to get into a rhythm. He had 3 carries on the first drive of a line that didn't look like it was gelled together yet. So, once they start opening things up and he's able to, kind of maneuver through, And if he's still kind of just getting stuffed or he's missing holes and things like that, then I'd be like, all right, I'm worried. But after, and I've watched games where it's like McKinnon's good. Like McKinnon can run. He can run the ball. I was watching the Panthers game, and it's like, why don't they give him the ball more? He had 5 carries in the game. You know what I'm saying? And it was for like 50 yards, and they were all first half, no carries in the second half. It was like things like that where it's just like, why don't they give this guy the ball a little bit more? And I know everybody, oh, well, he got beat out by this guy or he got beat out by that guy. And a lot of times it seems like he just maybe didn't fit what they like to do offensively. And Dalvin Cook, I think Dalvin Cook is really good. So I would play Dalvin Cook over him too. I think Dalvin Cook is like that good. I don't know how he slipped to the second round. But, it just all depends on how you want to use somebody. And, for what it looks like they like to do, we saw Breda have some success in our offense last year, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. I think McKinnon can have similar success running the ball and even more success catching the ball. So, yeah, I'm not worried about it unless you just see over these next 2 games, like there's just no improvement. Then I'd be like, all right, maybe we just need to get the ball to Breda a little bit more.
Yeah, you had to be a football genius the other day when I send 3 different people's stats and say, guess who they are in the NFL, and you nail them right on the head with Le'Veon Bell.
I still don't know how. Because I think I know, like, I just randomly Google stuff all the time. So I knew I saw that, but I still would have never guessed. Like, I mean, well, I did guess. I don't know how.
Share with the rest of the class.
Like, wow.
What stats are you talking about?
So I put in the room before we get to Mike and to why you think we should be worried about McKinnon. I put in our chat room, like our writers chat room and stuff like that, all of our NBA Niners crew. I put in, it said, what did it say, 105 carries for 465 yards, 4.4 average. Then I put Le'Veon Bell's stats in, and I put Zeke Elliott's stats in. And I said, try to guess who they are. I think Zeke averaged like 3.9 yards per carry. Was it 4.1? And then Le'Veon was like 4 flat per carry or something. And I had asked the guys in the room, would you take 4.4 yards per carry from a running back? And Croc was like, yeah, I'd take anything over 4. But I sent that in the room, and I said, so everybody guess who they are. And one of our guys, Ali, took a guess or whatever, and he's like guessing all these people. And then Croc's like, picture number 1 is Ezekiel Elliott or whatever. Picture number 2, Le'Veon Bell. Picture number 3, Matt Breida. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you hit that shit right on the head. But that's the backstory to that. So
it was Carlos Hyde.
Oh, Carlos Hyde. That's right. It was
Hyde. Because I remember he averaged slightly under 4 yards a carry. So I remembered that was Hyde. But I don't know how I got the other. I think I knew that Ezekiel Elliott because it was significantly lower than his rookie year. So I remember like, oh, I wonder what the difference was between his rookie year and his sophomore year. So there was just things that kind of like, and then I saw the touchdowns on the other one, and I was like, touchdown yards, carry, I think that's Le'Veon Bell. So I don't know. I don't know how I got it right.
Yeah, he nailed them all, and I was just like, holy shit, that was kind of surprising. So, but I would take 4.4 yards a carry, and he only had 105 carries for 465 yards. That's not that bad if you really think about statistics and number-wise. But anyway, Mike, tell everybody in the room is like, McKinnon will be fine. Mike, you're overreacting. Why will McKinnon not be fine? Let's hear Mike's musings right now.
Before Mike tears us down, can I throw a little bit of reasoning why I think we're going to be okay? Because Mike's going to go ahead and just rain on everyone's parade. Part of the reason why I think McKinnon's going to be okay is a lot of what Croc said. But the other part of it also, too, and it's, I guess, kind of a bad thing but a good thing, is that his contract is super team-friendly, and the guys behind him show a lot of promise. So if he doesn't work out the way that he's supposed to and we have to reduce his carries and or let him go, we got Breida behind him who's hungry, and as you guys mentioned earlier, McNichols looks hungry as well. Mostert looked really good to me as well. I think I only saw him run once or twice, but he looked really strong. But McNichols was the guy that really stood out. So that kind of is the other positive too, is if he doesn't work out, we kind of have some people to fill in the role if we need to. But go ahead, Mike. Do what you're going to do.
Introducing people, Mike's musings. Here we go.
All right, so just to be clear here, I'm not saying that McKinnon won't work out. Nick said, should we be worried? And to me, the answer is yes, because we have never seen him be the bell cow. I know what he can do in space. Everybody knows what he can do in space. Everyone knows he's a good pass catcher. Hell, he's even really, really good in pass protection. He's really good in those assets, in those phases. So that's why I specified, are you talking about as a ball carrier? I have not seen him consistently carry the ball well in the NFL in 4 seasons. I'm not just getting this out of nowhere. So yes, I am worried. This is something that the 49er fans should brace themselves for, just in case. I'm not saying it's not going to work out. I'm saying that we should be worried about it. This is something that we need to keep in the back of our minds. This guy, you can say, oh, he was behind Adrian Peterson, or he was behind Dalvin Cook. Cook played 4 games. He played 4 games, and then McKinnon was still the third back on that team. There's got to be a reason. We can't just sit here and say, oh, well, the line was bad. The line was bad. I know Eric broke down. He put film in the room for I don't even think it was the Panthers. There was a game where there was nowhere for the Vikings to run, and it was all McKinnon's runs, and he was getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. I get that. I understand that. But Carlos Hyde played behind lines, very similar to that for his entire career. He would still find a way to get 1 or 2 positive yards out of it. You know, he's physical enough to do that. I don't think McKinnon is built to do things like that. McKinnon operates so much better in space. Now, if we're going to start doing tosses to him and things like that to get him the ball in space, then fine. Those still count as running plays. That kind of thing will work. But handing him the ball and expecting him to hit the A and B gap, I don't think that's his game. I don't think that he's going to thrive in those situations. And there's going to be times in a game where you got to put the game away and you're going to give it to that guy because he's going to be in there in case we want to do a pass. He's going to be in there in case we want to, spread him out wide and catch the defense slipping. I don't know if he's capable. Not a single one of y'all, nobody watching this, even McKinnon, nobody knows for a fact that he can do that. We're just assuming that he can because Kyle Shanahan has put a stamp on him. Well, Kyle Shanahan also put a stamp on Joe Williams, and what happened to his ass last year? IR. And for what? Because of fumbles. Fumbleitis ain't a disease. That's nothing to be put on IR for. Kyle Shanahan put his neck on the line for him, and he came out and said, yeah, I was worried about it. I was worried that maybe I made a mistake. And so if Kyle Shanahan can make that and own that, yeah, I'm worried about it, why can't 49er fans just accept and admit that they're worried that McKinnon might not be a good runner with the ball in his hands? It's nothing wrong with that. He's still going to probably lead the team in all-purpose yards because he's going to be dangerous as fuck in space. He's going to be a hell of a pass catcher. But to sit here and be like, oh, he's going to be fine running the ball, y'all are just saying that and trying to convince yourselves of that. Not a single one of y'all up here on this panel right now can tell me with confidence that McKinnon is going to come in here and for the whole season and average 4 yards a carry. None of y'all can say that. You've never seen it. You can sit here and point out.
Yes, we have seen it. He averaged what, 5 yards, 4.8 yards a carry his rookie year. He ran the ball. Now, if he gets hurt, that's a different thing. But as far as just carrying the rock, he can run the ball. Now, we're not talking about injuries or anything like that. I don't know about it. I don't know. Like, will he stay healthy? I don't know. That's a big question mark. But you just talking about running the ball. Like, they were turning around, hand the ball off. He was getting up out of there. He had big runs. He had shorter runs. Like, he did it all. It's not like he was just some, like, always just he was a guy that was getting the carries for when Adrian Peterson had his little situation, and then he just ended up getting hurt. But he was carrying the ball, and he was averaging almost 5 yards a carry.
Yes, I remember him doing the Niners dirty when they played him.
And one of the things you said, too, about worried about him icing games, let's be honest. Matt Breida is our icing games running back. That's our guy. When the game needs to be put away, someone needs to go score.
Right.
The ball to Matt
Breida.
Carlos
Hyde was still handing the ball to Breida.
Yeah.
Okay. But y'all are naming everybody else. We talking about McKinnon.
I hear you. I'm with you.
McKinnon right now. So here's my thing. Yes, we saw him do it in limited snaps. This is a bell cow role now. This is a completely different game.
But you think it will be? You don't think it'll be like 60-40 like the Coleman Freeman thing?
Bro,
right, hold on. Let Croc talk. Croc's talking. Everybody's cutting everybody off.
No, his rookie year, they were giving him the ball. Like, it wasn't like third down, you're going to be in the game. It was like, no, Adrian Peterson was out. They had him and they had Asiata or whatever, and they were giving him McKinnon. McKinnon was getting the rock until he got hurt. McKinnon was getting the rock.
And yeah, he was getting it in limited proportions is what I'm saying. Yo, we're talking about the course of 16 games. He's never carried the ball that many times. You look at how many carries he had that year versus how many carries Carlos Hyde had last year. And Carlos Hyde didn't even play all 16 games. I can't look it up right now because I'm on my phone.
I'm on
Nick,
it.
if you're
I'm on it.
Okay, thank you. So what I'm talking about is carrying the ball regularly, not occasionally. Look, man, this is me trying to draw a comparison for 49er fans to relate to. Okay, when we had Kendall Hunter in limited snaps behind Frank Gore, Kendall Hunter looked really fucking good. He looked really fucking good in limited snaps. McKinnon looked really good in limited snaps. It's not hard to do in limited snaps when teams aren't preparing for you for an entire season. Now people are going to be looking at this guy and figuring him out. That's what I'm saying. In limited snaps, Kendall Hunter looked great. In limited snaps, McKinnon looked great. But now we're talking about being the bell cow. That salary means that he's going to be a 3-down back. And if he's going to be a 3-down back, he's going to be the one that they're studying film on, and they're going to figure him out. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. You look up.
Hold on. Are you ready for this? 2014 is rookie year. Week 4 versus Atlanta, 18 carries, 135 yards. Week 6 against Detroit, 11 carries, 40 yards.
Oh, so we almost halfway. Wait. So we already almost halfway through the season, and so far we not even up to 20 carries yet, or not up to 30 carries yet. This is my point.
20 Nobody's getting 30 carries in this day and age. But he had
wait. Eric. I'm talking about. What I'm saying is this: as a 3-down back, he's going to be carrying the ball almost 20 times a game. He hasn't done that before.
Listen. 18 carries, 19 carries, 16 carries, 14 carries, 15 carries. Like that's in one season. He had 19 carries for 100 yards, 16 carries for 83 yards, 18 carries for 135 yards. He's running the ball. 18 carries for 135 yards, that's not just a scat back.
That's not over 16 games. You ignore what I'm saying, man.
It looks like when you look at this, I don't know if somebody else was there, but it wasn't until week 4. The first week he had 1 carry, second week he had 2, third week he had 3, and then something must have happened because the 4th week he had 18.
Injuries, yeah.
And then he started having a lot of carries, 11, 19, 14, 15.
He played 16 games he played 11 games in 2014, 16 games in 2015, 15 games in 2016, 16 games in 2017.
But
his most attempts was 2016 for 15 games, 159 attempts for 539 yards for an average of 5.2 yards per carry.
Okay, how many attempts was that?
159.
Okay, now pull up any year Carlos Hyde and tell me how many attempts Carlos Hyde had. This is my point, because there's a difference in what we're talking about. It's cool. You can make a running back go off. Look, man, what's that dude's name that played for New England and ran for like 200 yards in a game? Okay, a random game is a random game. You can find a mismatch. That's what an offensive coordinator is supposed to do. You can find a mismatch in a random game, but when they're game planning for you, you're creating a different beast. Blue, I think his name was Alfred Blue. Is that who it was? Or White? Which one of those dudes ran for like 200 yards?
Can I tell you these stats so you can just be quiet for a second?
You asked me a question. Now you want me to be quiet. I'm trying to answer it. All right, go ahead.
No, I'm telling you, you're talking about attempts. So 2016, in 2017, Carlos Hyde only had 240 attempts.
Stop right there. 20. What year was that? 16 or 17?
17. Last year.
How many attempts?
240.
Okay, now go back to the year you said McKinnon had the most carries. How many was that?
159.
Okay, so you're looking at almost 100 less carries, bro.
Okay, so listen, he had 546, so let's just average it off to 600 yards. Carlos Hyde had 938. With almost half the difference attempts, he had way more yards and almost 2 yards more per carry.
Yeah, because it's not. Oh, bro, do you understand? Listen to this.
No, I get what you're saying, Mike. Because it was like when the Cowboys had they had DeMarco Murray, and then they had the spillback Randall, the one that was stealing underwear, and Randall's yards per carry was extremely high when he had Murray, and then when they didn't have Murray, his production went down. The only difference with this, I'll say, when talking about McKinnon is Murray played that entire year. McKinnon was actually the guy for several games in 2014. Like, he was the guy. He was getting 18 yards a carry. Randall never had, I mean, not 18 yards carries, games where he ran 18 yards, 19 times, 18 carries, 19 carries, 16 carries. Like, he's actually getting the ball. Randall never had that. Randall would get the ball like 5 times, 6 times.
Yeah.
And
so I wanted to ask Mike, how many carries do you think Shanahan is planning on giving McKinnon in a game? Do you really think he's going to be like a 30-carry guy? Or is he going to stick in this like 15 to 20 area like they're talking about? Because if that's the case, he's already done it like they're saying.
Bro,
but you're saying because Carlos had so much more, his yards per carry were lower because he had more carries, right? And he was more between the tackle guy, and he had 2-yard runs and things like that. So is that what you're worried about? You're worried about like him not being able to do those kind of runs?
Yeah, when you're the bell cow, you're gonna have plays that are designed for you. 100 more attempts. How many in an extra 100 attempts are gonna be for 3rd and 1 or for 3rd and 2? You get what I'm saying? Those are gonna crash your numbers. Those things are
3rd and 1.
Yeah, those things are naturally going to crash.
We hand it to nobody other than Juice. To me, just give that big guy the ball.
Can I ask you one question, Mike?
I'm just saying, man. Like the proof isn't there.
I don't think you need him to be a bell cow though. Like when you're
making a fair point.
Cow, like, that's like a 20+ carry. I think with McKinnon is touches, and I think he's going to have around 18 touches a game. It's not going to be just it could be 14 carries and 4 catches. Like it's not just going to be, oh, we're just going to turn around and hand him the ball all game. They're going to do different things with him, and he's going to split carries with Breda. He's just going to be the guy. Yeah, he starts the game. He gets more carries, but it's not like they're just going to, he's going to have anywhere from 12 to 15 carries a game. That's not really, you're not asking, it's not going to be like a big demanding load, but he also gives you way more in the passing game than Hyde. But he can run the ball. Like I don't think there's any issue with him running the ball. He can do that.
15 carries a game is going to be 241 attempts a season. That's just 15 carries. We're talking about him as a running back. So I'm not talking about the passing game. I know he's going to excel in that.
Can I ask you one question? What was the highest attempts Carlos Hyde ever had in a season? He's only had 2 games touching the ball over 20 twice in an entire year.
I'm not asking him to touch the ball 20 times. I just said 15, bro.
Right.
I just said 15.
His average.
15 carries for 16 is like 240 attempts. And I'm telling y'all that I don't know. Okay.
I understand what you're trying to say, but you're trying to compare him to somebody else, and I'm giving you stats from somebody else, and you're denying it. Like, Carlos Hyde only touched the ball more than 20 times in 2 games in an entire year. Everything else was 15, 13, 12, 11, 8, 16, 14. So if you're giving this guy the ball 16 times, that's talking about your workload. Now Mike's going to go quiet because he's getting upset.
The one thing that I think we can't discredit what Mike's saying is, like he said, him running between the tackles. That worries me too. If he's supposed to be the guy that's out there 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down, and we dial up a play that's supposed to go between the tackles to get us a few more yards, can he do that? I don't know, man. He's a little guy, and with our O-line blocking the way they do tonight, I mean, they should get better. But
I don't understand how everybody. This is what aggravates me about the whole size thing. Everybody's saying, I don't know, he can't do it because he's a little guy. But Matt Breida does it day in, day out. He did it last year between tackles and ran harder than Carlos Hyde at most times between tackles last year.
That's fair.
So they're the same size, the same type of back. And
it's not fair. It's not fair. That's not fair.
Like,
because
you just said the other night, Breida's going to ball. Did you or did you not?
I don't know what you just said. You blanked out.
You said Breida is going to ball. I didn't think that he was running between tackles like that. Didn't you just say that to me the other night?
And when Breida was doing it, he wasn't doing it as the bell cow, bro. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch both came out and said that McKinnon is here to be a 3-down back. There's a difference. I don't understand why we can't understand what I'm saying.
No, but 3-down back, that's not – they're basically saying they're not limiting him. Like, not so much that he's going to be in there first down, second down, third down. They're just saying he's a third down back because how Minnesota was using him was you'd have Murray first down, Murray second down, and then, okay, let's bring in McKinnon on third down, to pass protect or catch the ball, not really give him a lot of carries. That's what they're saying. When they say 3 down back, they're just not limiting him. They're opening up the entire playbook to him.
Right. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, Mike, you're saying the cowbell, whatever, bell cow, whatever you want to call it. But Breida and McKinnon are going to see the field just as much. They're going to be on and on. They might even be on the field at the same time. They're gonna. It's gonna be a dual-headed running back like Coleman and whatchamacallit in Atlanta.
That's what I see happening.
I don't understand why you don't agree with that. Like,
and also to Mike's point of people game planning for McKinnon, and you're saying it could be 50-50, that could work out in our favor. The fact that they're going to think McKinnon's going to get the ball as much as they are, okay, then Shanahan's going to dial up more plays for Breida and give him a 50-50 carry in that game. You know what I mean? Or a 50-50 split in carries.
This is all once the regular season starts, but I mean, I think we're going to see both of them. I mean, you were getting so mad last year when they were taking Carlos Hyde out and putting Matt Breida in. And Matt Breida was getting completions and running the ball through the hole harder than Carlos Hyde was last year. I love when Mike just gets quiet because you can tell he's pissed off.
I'm not pissed off. You asked a very specific question, and we're going all over the place. Oh, well, it's going to be split with Breida. It's going to be this and that. Are you worried about McKinnon carrying the ball for an entire season as a rusher? The answer to me is still yes. That's my answer. I'm worried about it because we haven't seen him carry the ball for 15 times a game throughout 16 games. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen McKinnon carry the ball 200 plus times a year. That was the question.
Anybody? Are you worried about Saquon Barkley because we haven't seen him in the league carry the ball for?
No, he's not worried because he gets hype over rookies. He's not worried about that.
Like, we saw Saquon Barkley run, you have 20 carries for 40 yards versus Indiana, or have 50 yards and 30 of them came off one carry against Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? But all of a sudden he's going to be the next great guy, and he had a good run. He ripped off a good run against the Browns.
Yeah,
his next three carries were all for like 0 yards. So it's like, it's like.
I never said that.
More stock into him because we haven't seen him. No, you believe he's going to be a good back.
No, y'all putting words in my mouth. My dad's a Giants fan, and my best friend is a Giants fan. And I told both of them, look, man, I know y'all went up and y'all got Saquon, but if you look at his last couple of games, he wasn't good carrying the ball. All of his impressive highlights and all that stuff came on returns. Once college football figured him out, he was getting 58 yards a game. Am I lying about that? I've been telling every Giants fan that. I've been telling them that if y'all think that he's going to go here, go ahead and put words in my mouth.
For saying that on live YouTube, you roasted me for saying that Saquon doesn't run between tackles very well. He's more of an open space guy. You blasted me.
I didn't disagree with that. I did not blast you for that, bro. You keep trying to put words in my mouth. I'm telling you what I've been telling people all season. I'm telling y'all what I've been telling people all season. Every Giant fan I know, I've been telling them the same thing. Look, he's going to be good. He's going to have big plays, but don't expect him to go out here and average 5 yards a carry. This ain't college, and in college, they figured him out at the end of his college career. That's what I've been telling people, and I'm standing firm on that. I haven't changed my mind. I haven't changed my opinion, and like I said, I'm still going to be until McKinnon shows that he can do it for 6 games in a row. I'm going to feel like that. It might be an issue.
All right. We're getting a little sidetracked here. I know our fans love when we freaking go at it, each other's throats. And I'm kind of hurt that you said your best friend's a Giants fan because I'm not a Giants fan. I'm a Niners fan. So kind of ripped my heart out, But
one of the things he said, though, that was like not even related to anything, but you said something about he was great in the kickoff game. That made me think of our team. And one of the things that we didn't get to see at all in the preseason game is our return ability with Dante Pettis and maybe even Victor Bolden if he makes the team. Who knows with our wide receiver depth, dude? I don't even know. We're letting some good wide receivers go this year. But I can't wait to see Pettis in the return game.
We saw Richie James run one for like 35, 38 yards, though, huh?
He's a
Huh?
monster.
Let's
He's
talk
a
about Richie
monster.
James.
Let's
Let's
do
change
it.
subjects.
Let's do
Let's
it. He's a
change subjects.
beast.
Nick, I'm gonna ask you a question now, bro. I'm gonna ask you a question, Nick. Is Trent Taylor's roster spot in limbo?
No,
Answer the question.
no,
Y'all full of shit.
it's not.
Okay.
Bro, Richie James doesn't just play the slot. He plays the outside too.
That's versatility in our team. That's a good thing, right? Versatility is a good thing.
I know, and this is the thing. Here you are on your rookie hype.
And Trent Taylor's not going to be returning punts or kickoffs anymore because we got people who can do it a lot better now, right? So that means Trent Taylor is relinquishing all of his roles except a slot wide receiver. He's got one role on this team now.
How do you know that? He's been returning punts in practice since he's been back.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has.
He has.
No.
Yes,
since
he
he's been back.
has.
Okay.
It was on live.
Yeah, I was at the Monday and Tuesday training camp when he was with the return team.
Not in
He was
contact.
back there.
Not in contact. He wasn't.
Maybe because of his injury, but he was back there practicing with them still.
Oh, he's still going to practice because they want to get him back in the groove of things. He's not going to be a return man for either one, for punt or kickoff.
Since you love to harp on the Trent Taylor thing, I love you see tweeting about. I'm a big Trent Taylor guy, so I love the back and forth. It's hilarious. But my question is, if Trent doesn't make it, who's your sixth guy then?
My six right now are Garcon, Goodwin, James, Pettis, Burbridge, and Bourne. Those are my six.
Get the hell out of here with
Burnbridge over Taylor. You're joking.
Because Burbridge plays special teams. He's a gunner also.
So does Taylor.
Taylor he's not a fucking gun. Get the okay.
Not a gunner, but he plays special teams.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm
no,
done.
You're not done.
You got to give Taylor the what do you call it? The connection with Jimmy. I mean, it's undeniable what they were doing last year in big down areas and third down areas. That he was his guy, man. You got to look at the third down numbers on that.
Ryan, I would normally agree with you here, but we've seen what happened with Zane Beatles and the connection with Jimmy Garoppolo, and I know Mike's gonna come back at you and say that.
You mean Daniel Kilgore?
Kilgore. Who did I said Beatles? I meant Kilgore. Kilgore and Jimmy Garoppolo, and we've seen what happened to him. So
yeah, but I don't know center and quarterback connection versus receiver and quarterback connection.
So wait.
And Richburg is an upgrade from Kilgore to me. From what I've seen, I just Richburg's a better center to me.
He loves Kilgore, so you're about to get
and I love Kilgore. I really do. As like a Niner fan, he's one of the guys you hate to see go. But with upside and ceiling, Richburg just has more to me. He was serviceable. He was like a Brock Coyle but center version to me. I don't know.
I don't even care about the whole Kilgore thing. But here's what I'm saying though, is that yes, Trent Taylor came out and he showed big with Jimmy, right? But before Garcon went down, who was the third down go-to guy? It was Garcon. They had to find someone else to start feeding the ball to on third down.
Yeah, but not with Jimmy though.
Yeah, because Garcon was already out.
Yeah, because
Garcon was already out. So now you have a bigger target on more important downs. I mean, if Taylor's still getting open like that, yeah, they'll give him the ball. But you got to remember that Garcon's going to be out there also. He's also going to be the guy with the strong hand
one thing I'm with you on,
and a bigger catch radius.
You mentioned it. We were talking in like the live pressers or whatever we were talking about. Garcon looks uncomfortable, man. Everything about him looks uncomfortable. Around the place, the only two guys I see him get along with are Aldrich and Dakota Watson. It's the only two guys you ever see him hang out with or be around or laugh with. So that kind of thing scares me because it seems like we have a really tight-knit group, and I'm not sure his little off circle with Aldrich is going to work for him. He could be the odd guy. I mean, obviously, he's not going to get cut. Obviously, we're going to have to see more before that. But
I think they said
scary for the future.
I think Tim Ryan said this on the broadcast the other night, and it got me thinking. And Jesus is my king, just so you know, Mike has had Trent Taylor cut before the preseason even started because he said after one game. So I just want to clarify that. But Tim Ryan had said something interesting. Because of Victor Bolden's suspension, he doesn't count as a roster spot but can stay on the team. And he thinks that the team will carry 7 receivers.
And Nick, You are my witness. I said that also. I said that I think that we're going to break the mold of the 6 wide receiver thing. I think that we can keep 7, and I think we're going to keep 4 running backs also. I've said both because especially the first 2 weeks because Foster's going to be out, so that's an extra roster spot right there. Then you have the 4-game suspension for someone else,
Bolton,
Victor Bolden Jr. Yeah, so that's another roster spot that we can hold while those guys are on injury. I think we're going to start this season with 4 running backs and 7 wide receivers, and then as they start to come back, it's going to be time to cut other people down. Now, what happens after that, I don't know. And
is
yes,
that when you think Trent's going?
No, I think that if they're going to move Trent, they're going to move him earlier. But I think I want Trent to make the team. Don't get listen. What I'm saying is this:
yeah.
The team, this coaching staff values versatility more than anything. And Trent Taylor is only going to be a slot guy. He's not going to beat out guys like Victor Bolden Jr. or Richie James or is it DJ Reed or is it Moore? One of those 2 guys also returns. He's not going to beat those guys out because he's not as explosive as those guys are. They're going to be the return guys on punt and kick returns. So he's only got one thing that he can do for this team. And if it's not better than what someone else can do in the slot, there's no need to keep him. The fans just fell in love with him. He earned, just like C.J. Beathard, the fans fell in love with him because he was standing there getting his ass beat. But when it all comes down to it, if he's not better than Nick Mullins, then C.J. Beathard shouldn't make the roster either. If he's not better.
I didn't only love Trent because he was getting his ass beat. I loved him because he was making big catches at big times on big downs. That's why I fell in love with Trent. He was always there.
And Garcon was doing it before Trent Taylor was. And now Garcon is back. That's my point.
Yeah, but Trent Taylor and Garcon are 2 total different receivers.
Yeah, completely different.
Absolutely. But Garcon's getting work in the slot now.
Yeah, well, because he's getting older. Isn't that what
you
all
can call whatever you want?
Switch over to the slot? I mean, look at Larry Fitzgerald. That turned his whole career around.
Okay, but let's not knock Larry for doing it, though, because he's done
damn
well.
I'm saying it turned his whole career around.
Yeah, no, 100%. It made him productive again, really. Yeah. It really did.
Anquan Bolden. But listen, so for the people who think that I'm only saying this off of one thing, no. When I saw us drafting all these return guys in particular, I said right there, yo, this is not going to bode well for Trent Taylor. So no, I'm not saying this based off of a preseason game where a wide receiver had 4 catches against 3rd and 4th string players. I'm not.
You've been saying this for as long as I can remember. Yeah.
Right. So I just want to clear the air myself. I know Nick tried to speak up for me, and I appreciate it, but I've been saying this for since the draft. I've been saying that.
Luke Walsh said, "Mike, what do you got laced in that cigar?" Everybody's
get Luke in here. Yo, get Luke in here, man. I want to talk to Luke.
Hey, I will say this about the whole Trent Taylor thing. I think, and I said this in the group earlier, I think that there's value in having somebody that's like him, somebody that does do all the things right on the field, and you also don't have to worry about them off of the field. You know he's going to be one with the quarterback. He's going to do what there was yesterday with Beathard and Pettis. Pettis ran a deep comeback. Beathard threw the deep ball. There was a mix-up. You don't have those type of mix-ups with Trent Taylor. So I think that there's value in knowing exactly what somebody's going to do, and they're on the same page as the quarterback. And he did always come through in the clutch. Had the big game versus the Bears to that big catch and run to seal the game. He's not as explosive as a Richie James. He's not as an explosive receiver as a Dante Pettis or somebody that can either take the top off of defense, or he's not going to really get you the huge gain in the punt return. He's consistent in the punt return game. He's going to catch his punts. He's going to get you 9 yards, which was top 10 in the league. But he just doesn't have the type of talent as the other guys, but you don't have to worry about him at all. You don't have to worry about anything that he's doing. Yeah.
I got one thing to sum all of that up, and this is where I think it comes down to one word with Trent Taylor is reliability.
And that's huge. When you're building a team, you're building a roster. We talk about Kendrick Bourne. Nobody loves Kendrick Bourne more than me, right? But can you count on Kendrick Bourne? And we really don't know. One, there's kind of the thing out there that he's a little bit immature off of the field. I don't know for sure. There's also, in the game, he only had 16 catches. So we don't know exactly. I mean, he looked good last night. He looked dependable, but obviously now he gets starters. But Trent Taylor, we know exactly what he is, and it's not a superstar, but it is somebody that does everything right. And I think that there's value in that, and I think you definitely need those type of people on your team. We're gonna have the other guys that are explosive. You got the Marquise Goodwin, you got the Pettis and the Barnes and the Richie James and guys, however you decide to use them. But I do still think that there's a spot for somebody like Trent Taylor who we absolutely 100% know what we're going to get out of him.
Look at Ryan with that Joe Staley chef apron on.
Real quick, I gotta go back inside the cigar parlor. It's after 1 and they lock the doors. I'm gonna go in there and try to keep talking. But if it's loud in there, I'm just gonna drop off the video, or at least I don't know if I end it, if it'll end everything. But if I hit the end call thing, so I don't want to do that. But if it's loud, if it's loud in there, I'm just gonna go on mute and just talk when it's my turn.
Yeah. So we all agree. I mean, we don't all agree, but I think Trent Taylor makes this team. All right. So let's get on to real quick. What do we expect out of the next game? What should we look to improve? Or what's one thing that you think should improve? And it doesn't have to be the thing that you said was bad, but what's one thing you're looking forward to seeing next week, whether it be open practice with Houston or the game at Houston? Croc, let's go with you first.
I think two of the things that we saw, I think there's going to be like something else to fix. I don't think it's going to be run blocking. I think they're going to do a better job doing that. I don't think it's going to be the linebackers. I think they're going to get in the groove. I think it's going to be something else. And I don't know what it is, but they're definitely not going to play a perfect game. But I am looking to see them improve on, just the things that they lacked that last game. Because they put that together. We'll do fine. Hopefully it's a pass rush. Hopefully they get better at a pass rush.
Yeah, and I can see where you were talking about with the like the Dante Pettis miscommunication, like the pass you were talking about. And I think that's something they need to get a little bit better at, which obviously they're going to as the more and more they play with each other. And Dante Pettis is obviously just learning this playbook, so he's new to that whole thing. But Ryan, what's one thing that you want to see them improve on? Or, I mean, do you think they will improve on, either or?
I just wanted a line play in general, whether it's pass blocking or run blocking or just getting the right assignments, because I hate seeing our $130 million quarterback taking shots to the face season game for a 10-yard gain. I mean, it proves how good he is, because some of the throws he made, although he overthrew Kittle over the middle and he made some bad throws. A good one, like you were saying, he was throwing to him. It was like it was 9 foot. That shit, it was hilarious. I noticed it too. It was like Goodwin's been 5'1" for as long as we can remember. I don't know why they're throwing so high, but I thought, I'm gonna be honest with you, but in general, I hope to see it improve. Whether it's in practice or practice really doesn't matter, but in the game, I see more blocking. It's bad. It's really bad. It scares me. A quarterback we put all that money into, we got to protect him.
Yeah.
And we should have got rid of Trent Brown. I'm with Mike on that when he was saying it a couple days ago. We should have kept him and let McGlinchey learn behind him. Bad move on our end, in my opinion. I don't care if he didn't get along with what we were doing. He was a great pass blocker. That was big insurance right there.
Yeah, definitely. Luke Walsh says better gap integrity by the linebackers. I definitely agree with him on that. That's definitely something that I'm going to be looking forward to. Luke, that's actually a great one. But while Mike gets his laceness over there.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you.
So what was named so far? I heard the gap integrity. I heard run mentioned a couple of times, but I don't know if you guys said run defense or if you were talking about the run game. So what was named so far?
Croc was talking about run blocking, pass blocking, just everything in general with the gelling. He said he knows they're going to work on that and it will get better, but he's not sure of something that they'll need to work on next week.
Okay, I want to see some pressure from the edge guys. I want to see Peter Tamapinu or Atauchu or Marsh. I want to see some consistency from those guys getting after quarterbacks and I would like to see less. I know this is going to sound crazy. I would like to see a lot less of Julian Taylor. I don't want to burn him out in preseason. You know what I mean? I know that he's only played 25 games in his career, but you don't want to kill this young man. He was doing he was on the line for blocking field goals. You know what I mean? He played with the first string, second string, third string, fourth string. I don't want to burn this young man out with the way the guys are dropping and everything. I just don't want him to get injured. But I would love to see some edge pressure for sure. That's definitely something I want to see from this team. When the draft ended, John Lynch went right to the microphone and he was asked, how come you didn't go after anybody for the edge? And his answer was, well, you don't just no. Kyle Shanahan actually said it. You don't just come in and take the job from guys like Atauchu and March. Well, those guys need to step up then. If you can't take their jobs, you got to show me why their jobs were so hard to take. And so far, we haven't seen it. Now, I will say that Marsh looked good at the end of the season. He was getting a lot of pressure. He got a couple of sacks and everything. I think he had a forced fumble and all that too. He did look good towards the end of the season, but we need to see it now with a full season and when people are prepared for him. So that's what I'm looking for.
Here's another one from Maya0724. I think this is something else that we need to work on. Starting fast during the game, better tempo and reaction to the ball. I think that they hit right on a few things there. We have been lackluster starting off with starting drives. We pick up the tempo. I mean, you can see the difference in the game yesterday. Obviously, it's 3s and 4s later in the halftime. But even last year when Jimmy – I mean, how many times did we go down to score on the first drive? We'd score field goals, but not touchdowns. So obviously we need to be better in the red zone.
I think that happened once or twice the entire season, where our first possession resulted in a touchdown.
Yeah, the Rams game was the first one.
I can't hear y'all. Y'all were talking at the same time. Sorry.
I said Jaguars, we scored the opening drive touchdown.
Yeah, I think it was Jaguars and Rams we scored on the opening drives.
Week 2, yeah.
So
that's definitely something we need to work on. Go ahead, Croc.
No, early we didn't score. It wasn't the early in this season Rams game. Maybe the later one.
Yeah, it was the later game because we didn't score an opening drive possession for the first 7 or 8 games.
Well, Hoyer threw an interception the first play. So
yeah, you remember that? That's right, exactly. All right, so something that you're really excited about for this team. It could be a player, it could be the coach, it could be the feelings in the locker room, and then we'll try to start wrapping this thing up. But something that you're excited about for the 2018-2019 season that you think is something that will excite fans as well. Let's go with Ryan first on this one. Well, he's eating food, so we'll go with Mike real quick.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
All right. So, but y'all gonna think I'm crazy because how I was just bashing this guy, but I'm excited for Trent Taylor to come back. I want to see the competition for the position to shake out. And if that's what you're gonna say, you should have swallowed faster, man. But I want to see Trent Taylor come back and push these other guys to be better. There's depth at so many different positions on this team. The defensive line. And the slot wide receiver, that 6th wide receiver spot, there's going to be so much stiff competition for it, and it's going to really bring out the best in a lot of people, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most. The defensive line depth, as well as the 6th wide receiver position. These guys got to step up in order to make the roster, and if I can say this, you know what? I'll stop and then come back to me after everyone else is done. I'll stop because there's 2 more things that I'm really looking forward to.
All right. Ryan, you ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I keep switching my headphones in and out because my phone's dying, so I'm like charging it while y'all talk and then switch it because iPhone, they're stupid. Anyway, honestly, one of the biggest things I'm excited for this season is the Garoppolo-Goodwin connection. I know he missed them a couple times in the preseason game, but it's obvious that it's there. It's obvious that those two have something together where there's some sort of chemistry. And Goodwin is a guy who's learned a lot more routes in his route tree now. He's not just a blow the top off the defense type of guy. He's He's shown good hands towards the second half of the year. And his confidence just overall, the way he carries himself just seems better. And in tandem with that, the confidence thing, Akello on the defensive side, I'm stoked to have that kid on our team, man. The jump that he made from year 1 to year 2 is something I haven't seen in a corner for us in a long, long time. The way he carries himself, he's a pro already. And the guys he's surrounding himself with, I mean, we saw him talking about how he's training with Darius Slay and Sherm and all those guys in the preseason. Just already being in that company, I think says big things about him. So those two guys I'm really excited to see. Goodwin and Witherspoon.
Croc, you're up next, but before you start, did Witherspoon get any passes thrown to him yesterday?
No, they didn't. He was in for like the first 3 possessions, and they didn't throw at him at all.
They didn't throw at him all. Do we got a second Sherman coming up? When
I was watching, because obviously if they didn't throw to him, it's kind of hard to like see exactly how well he did or didn't do. But it looked like he had tight coverage. I went back. It's kind of hard. We don't have the all 22, but just from what I saw, just kind of watching and seeing like, okay, where was he in position when the ball was thrown, and kind of you could see him, and he looked fine.
Nice. All right. So what's something you're excited about, Croc?
I think just having, just the receiver battle in general, it looks like there's a lot of talent, and we haven't had this type of, receiver type of competition in a really long, maybe ever. I don't know. But, yeah, I think just seeing how good the receivers are and the battle down there, that's kind of what I'm most excited, just to even see how that even plays out. Who's going to be is there a shocking cut? I don't think there will be, but, that's something to kind of watch for.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of competition going on between running backs, wide receivers, kick returners, even defensive linemen. I mean, you got guys that are showing up that are playing hard every day. I think most of all, the biggest thing I'm excited about is getting back to winning ways. Whether we win 6 games, 7 games, 8 games, I think we are on the right trend. Moving forward, we're acquiring talent, getting that talent going, the coach, the GM, just the entire organization, the culture that's being built again. I think that 2018 is going to be a big stepping stone. Like 2018-19 season is going to be a big stepping stone. And basically, like John Lynch says, brick by brick, it's just another brick towards the right direction. I'm not saying we're winning a Super Bowl this year, because I'm not being that optimistic this year. But, I was optimistic last year saying we were 12-4. But the things that I'm seeing between the head coach, the general manager, the players, just like Ryan had mentioned earlier, with the players getting so excited on the sideline, you think we won a playoffs game. Just that ability, that how close-knit this team is becoming is really exciting for me. Like, I'm super excited about that. Mike, what are you shaking your head about?
Oh, no, because the more y'all talk, the more I think about the things I'm excited about. And so I got so much that I'm excited about, man. It's silly stuff, like touchdown celebrations. I can't wait for us to do a team celebration. We haven't done one yet, and they allowed it. You know what I mean? But they might not do it this year, because now they're doing this thing where after the touchdown, the play clock starts running right away. So you got to hurry up and get ready to kick. So that's going to be hard for the team celebrations. But I'm excited about, we got a lot of young guys with, for lack of a better word, swag. And they all have their own little dances and things like that. You see, even in practice, you see Goodwin. They've got special dabs, like how LeBron has a different handshake for everybody. Goodwin's walking up to Bourne doing different things. He's walking up to Richie James doing different things. It's little stuff like that I'm excited to see. But the two things that I was gonna say, I'm really excited for Cooper and Garnett to get back in the mix. I want to see that competition at the right guard thing. Those guys, Shanahan flat out said that one of those two could be the starter, and we haven't seen them yet. I'm looking forward to seeing those two guys. And on the flip side, we know what Julian Taylor is, his potential. We all acknowledge that. We all see it. I want Armstead to come back in the mix and bring out the best in these guys. I know it's kind of piggybacking off of what I said before. When Armstead gets in the mix, if he looks really good, our defensive line is going to be serious this year, man. it's going to be serious. I really like what I'm seeing from that. And then I'm going to end it with this because, like I said, I got like 4 more things that I'm really excited about. Jimmy Garoppolo in this system with more than what we saw last year. I can't wait to see the scheme that Kyle Shanahan can unveil on the NFL, unleash on the NFL with a capable quarterback. It's going to be a thing of beauty as long as the offensive line can protect him. I can't wait to see it.
Just to touch base on what you just said about Kyle Shanahan with the talent that he has and being able to scheme people open. Luke Walsh said 2 slot types on the field at the same time create matchup problems. So, you know, that just backs up with a Richie James and a Trent Taylor or a Trent Taylor and Dante Pettis or a Richie James and a Dante Pettis on the field at the same time. It's definitely you know that Kyle Shanahan is going to exploit these type of defenses and get people open. And it's just going to be hard to stop. But I do want to mention one honorable play from yesterday. And that's my man Reuben Foster staying stride for stride with Tavon Austin and making a hell of a play on the sideline. That diving breakup was, I think it was like one of the best plays I saw all day yesterday. And Joe Staley was like so hyped, like even, you know, but I know you guys all saw that, but that's one thing that I took from that game yesterday was Reuben Foster in coverage and how well he played coverage yesterday.
And then we didn't even mention Fred Warner coming back. Like there's so much to be excited. Richard Sherman coming back. Like we have no idea still what this team is going to look like. There's so much.
Williams.
Yeah. There's so much that we haven't even seen yet. Even after this game, we have no idea what the strengths and weaknesses are going to be for this team yet. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Croc, what are you rocking out the 19 over there?
Oh yeah, you already know.
You're rocking out the 19. So let's do a quick breakdown. How is it?
Oh man, I like it. I think they made it more realistic than what it has been like the past few years. You have to actually like play like real football. Can't just throw some crazy stuff up or the movement. You can't just like all of a sudden like just I'm running full speed this way and then cut hard all the way, cut back hard. Like you can't do like just crazy stuff. And it kind of made it to where like it is dependent on guys' skill set. So like guys have certain traits, and if they like, you can be a 95 speed receiver, but if you can't run routes, your guy is really not going to be a good route runner. So yeah, I think they made it more realistic. I like how they did it.
I saw, excuse me, I saw a tweet the other day, and somebody said, "But really, Madden 19, why is it so hard to run the ball in this game?"
Yeah, it's hard if you don't, like they make you take what you can get. So if it's if you probably should only get 3 yards on this carry, you should take that, because if you try to bounce it out, you're going to end up losing yards.
You're going to get jousted. So
right.
I haven't got it yet. I don't have no time to play it yet. But
you see, I'm playing at 10:30 at night while the wifey went to bed. So
yeah, it's 1:30 a.m. here, and it's my first night off work. So last night and the night before, you know how I was up. I got home and I had to be at work at 4:15. I was still talking in the chat at 4 o'clock, and I never went to sleep. So, but I should get it and pick it up. But I know I need to get Mike on Rocket League. If any of you guys have PS4, I'm a PS4 dude. So
me too.
You got Xbox, right, Croc?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On PS4.
Mike's got an Xbox and a PS4, right? You're a high roller.
I have access to an Xbox. I have only purchased one, and I gave it to my brother as a gift. But my brother is at my house all the time. He leaves it there when he's not there. So I could get it for either system, but I'm not interested in Xbox, man.
Yeah, if you guys want to add me on there, I'll play a little bit of Madden, or anything else. But just hit me up in my DMs or whatever on Twitter, 49er Faithful 365. You can check me out there. But guys, I think this was a really good show. I mean, I think we got some goods, we got some bads, we got some uglies out of it. We got some excitement. We were definitely lucky to be joined by Croc, and always love when Croc comes on the show. Gives us that realism talk. Ryan, it was a pleasure having you on, man. I really appreciate you stopping by. And
thanks for having me, guys. I was out actually on a walk when you guys like tweeted at me, I was like, shit, I better sprint home because they're probably gonna hop in a call or whatever. So
yeah, definitely. I remember you saying you were gonna want to call in. So yeah, guys, that's just a reminder, man. We'll be putting that phone number out there. We'll be bringing you a lot more videos once the season starts coming upon us. Got a lot of things behind the curtains. So keep following. Check us out on that subscriber list. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I still got that Adrian Colbert jersey I got to give away too once we hit 3K. So if you want that, you better hit that subscribe button.
Also, to people in chat, I would recommend, if you don't already, follow a lot of our players on your social medias, like our actual 9 players. They're funny as hell. They interact with each other. I mean, they probably spend a little more time on them than they should. They should be paying attention to football. But Adrian Colbert, Sherm, Witherspoon, Tart, all those guys are like mad funny on Instagram and Twitter and their stories. So if you guys don't follow them, I'd go follow them too. They're actually really fun to follow.
Yeah, definitely. You can find those on our website, nothingbutniners.com. You can check out for media and stuff like that, whoever you want to follow. Mike, man, what do you think? Looking like Tony Montana over there. Fly, pelican, fly.
I'm chilling, man. I'm just excited, man. Football is back, and this is what I'm not gonna say. This is what I live for. I got kids, I got a family. I shouldn't say that, but football keeps me going. It's my happy distraction from the rest of the world and all the stresses of life. Football is great, man. It's a good outlet for a lot of people, man. I'm mad that my boy Kev couldn't make it tonight, but Kev will be joining us on a lot of videos also. I know that he enjoys the break from life through football and doing his YouTube videos and all that. So
yo, he's funny as hell. He's
mad
funny though.
he's a good dude, man. He's a good dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
Silverado Kev. It's our boy. Yo, big shout out to all our guys over at Nothing But Niners, man. I can't name them all. Matt, Dylan, Stefan, Tony. I mean, I could just keep going. Mike, NY to the Bay, Mike Croc. I could keep going, man. But everybody over there is doing such a great job.
Hold on. Let me see how many I can name and then get in trouble for later. So we got Steve, Zach, Stefan, Scott. We got Tony. We got Mike Teach. We got Mike NY to the Bay. We got Eric. We got you. We got me. We got Nick Peck. We have Ali. How did I get that far without naming Ali yet? We got Ali over there. We have what's her name? What is her name? The first female.
Evangelica. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. So we got her also. Like I said, Kev. Damn, that's like 13, 14 already.
You got Matt.
I didn't name Matt yet. Damn, yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, it's crazy. Matt.
Dylan.
Holy squad deep, man. Like, yo, I love it. I love it.
The growth of Nothing But Niners has been huge, and we're only going to continue to grow. But yeah, there's definitely too many. I mean, I can remember when me and Mike started and we hit up Scott the first time, like, yo, we don't really have much going on here, but you want to join us? And it was like kind of an awkward email, but we've definitely made strides, and it's all because of the fans. We really appreciate you guys. We love the fan interaction. You guys,
the supporters. We don't have fans. 49ers have fans. We have supporters. People who support what we do.
I wish Ali was here though, so when you asked like what was wrong or what he noticed was bad in the game, he could just be like, "It's all going to hell. We're going 0-16. Everything's down the shitter." I was looking forward to that.
And you didn't even see what he was saying in the chat room. The chat room was way worse than what he was saying out loud, man.
I couldn't imagine the first incompletion from Jim. He probably lost his shit.
Yo, but Ali does that kind of stuff just to get reactions out of people. Yo, my man was like, maybe this isn't the right regime to get us the 6th trophy. I'm like, yo, you gotta chill, bro. He's like, nah, it's clickbait.
Well, and part of it's his passion too. He tries to stay realistic with it, in a way where as with himself as a fan, where like I want to be optimistic, but at the same time I want to be real with what my team is. So he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, Ali's real, man. Ali is definitely real, and Ali is one of my best dudes, man. Love him to death. I love everybody on our team, and like I said, man, supporters are definitely. Since I was overlapped by Mike, supporters. All right. Mike's musings, fans, supporters, followers, best friends. Oh, wait, never mind. We don't have any of those. But no, I'm just joking. But guys, man, for all our supporters, our fans, whatever you want to call yourselves, worldwide, UK, Germany, wherever you guys are watching from, man. We really, really appreciate it from the bottom of our heart. And make sure you follow all of our social media avenues, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, nothingbutniners.com, obviously YouTube. And you can follow me on Twitter at 49erfaithful365, same as my Instagram. You can follow me there as well. But before we get out of here, let's everybody give where they can be followed. Mike.
Yeah, you guys just hit me up on Twitter. I'm 49ers, 49ers Mike _NF. You guys follow me there.
Ryan.
Just at Ryan chilling, man. I just post Niner stuff and music every now and then if you want to throw me a follow. Pretty mellow.
All right, at Ryan chilling, and Mr. DB himself, Eric Crocker, puts out a lot of good content.
He can't talk. He can't talk. He in the middle. He can't take himself off of mute. He can't say it. What's it right now? He's Eric Crocker. He's Eric Crocker on I feel like there's an underscore in there somewhere.
Eric _Crocker.
There you go.
What's the score, Eric?
I'm up 7-0 right now.
You better clap some cheeks, boy.
Tight game. You can also follow Crocker's work over. What?
Who was the touchdown with? I want to know who he scored with.
Pierre Garçon. Dante Pettis got me down there to about the 8-yard line. Pierre Garçon caught a slant for the score.
In my Madden 18 team, when I was doing the updated roster, Trent Taylor was that touchdown guy, man. So
hey, they updated, man. Reuben Foster is faster now. Keller Weatherspoon just got better. There was an upgrade today. So
yeah, Scott said he was like in with the EA guy and was like in his emails for like months, and then he was like, "Yeah, cheers to me. Thanks to me. Your guys are faster now."
Yeah, for real. Like Reuben Foster went from 83 speed to 86 speed, and that's a big difference for a middle linebacker.
Yeah,
that's right. The Nothing But Niners guys have connections with the EA Sports people, man.
Damn right.
That is crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, but you guys can also follow Eric Crocker's work over at, what is it, 4th_9?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 4th_9. Croc puts out a lot of good articles over there. Him and Dylan doing such a great job. You can also check out their podcast as well. They're on iTunes, SoundCloud.
Yeah, the Cover 4 podcast.
Yeah, Cover 4 podcast. You guys are on all avenues, right?
Right.
Yeah. Check them out, guys. Dylan and Croc break it down over there as well. If you haven't listened already, make sure you subscribe over there. And if you haven't checked out ours on iTunes, go over there and check that out as well. NB Niners, hashtag NB Niners. You can find us that way. iTunes, SoundCloud. I always say, if I don't say it the right way, SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play. If I don't say it exactly like that, I fuck it all up. So
Can I throw in a wild card question for y'all to help me out with real quick? It's for my fantasy team.
Yeah, man.
Just the three of you. So I'm picking 12th in my league, but it's the snake back one, so it's last in the first round, but it's first in the second round. And I really want Jimmy on my team, being the Niner guy. It's just a $35 league, so I want to take some shots with some guys. Do I take him with that 13th pick, or because I'm going to have to double snake back around, it's going to be like 40 or 50. You think he'll still be hanging around at that point, or should I just pull the trigger on him at 13 and take him out?
He's not going to be there, bro. Running backs and then quarterbacks. Oh, no, running backs, wide receivers, and then quarterbacks. I mean,
he's going on average like 11 or 12 in a lot of leagues. So
yeah, it's risky.
I had Jimmy last year at the end of the season. He averaged like 20 to 30 points averaged in those last 5 games.
Yeah, I see his numbers going up this year, though. I don't know. I'm pretty high on Jimmy. I tried to keep it to a low during this. I don't want it to be no praise Jimmy session because obviously he's got a lot of work to do. But there's just with the eye test and a lot of football I've watched growing up, because I've been watching the Niners my whole life, man. I'm 24, and I was born out the womb into a Niner blanket. So I was literally born into this. Like, my first baby blanket was a Niner blanket.
Yeah, but sometimes in fantasy, man, especially, I mean, it's only $5, but you got to take the heart out and think about it realistically. So you got to see what's on the board at the same time. So I could tell you, yeah, take them. But if Aaron Rodgers or somebody else is sitting there.
Dude, if Rodgers is there at 11, there's no question. Or 12, my first pick I'm taking. There's no way he falls past top 3, though. Come on.
Yeah.
That's the guy. All right. Longest outro ever. I'll let you close your thing. I just need some help. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Which reminds me though, make sure you pay attention because I think we're bringing back NBN fantasy this year. Start 'em, sit 'em, shit 'em, whatever we're gonna call it. Start 'em, sit 'em, shit 'em. But definitely keep an eye out for that. But Mike, I'm not gonna above all else sit, man. I kind of like what you signed the hashtag Faithful Flag Adventures with. So can you end it with that? Let's see. If you guys haven't already, check out my man at 49er Hodge on Twitter. Check out the hashtag Faithful Flag Adventures. Great guy, always giving a good giveaways to Forever Faithful, and just a hell of a follow. Check him out. Follow him. One hell of a diehard fan, and check out the hashtag Faithful Flag Adventures.
And the sign was prepare for greatness, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful.
That's it, guys. You heard it there. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Hey, make sure you have that bell set. We're out of here.